When you look at the people of Gaza, when you look specifically at those people, wherever they be, and they've been afflicted with such tragedy, losing their family, losing their home, losing their limbs, and yet they turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yet on their tongue is the dhikr of Allah, Jalla wa ala. And me and you, we think that it's such a calamity, Allah forbid, comes to us, that we will be able to respond in such a way. How can we able to sacrifice our lives and our wealth for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we struggle to sacrifice our hours of sleep for Salatul Fajr in the morning? How can we expect to have the response of the people of Iman in times of calamity when we're complaining and sometimes even blaming Allah because of difficulty happening in your life? Financial loss. Why is Allah doing this to me? He's got problems with his family, he's got problems with his wife, his children. Why is Allah doing this to me? Blaming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on the other hand, in contrast to the believer who loses everything, yet he thinks he has everything because his gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But me and you, because of the comfort that we're living in, we become ingrateful and we don't realize the blessings that we have and return to Allah during this time. And that is why, subhanallah, I want to mention the last point here. And that is, yes, when we see these things taking place and we look towards the ummah, the difficulty that the ummah is going through, and rightly so, we hold those people who are able to change things, and that is our rulers. Undoubtedly, they are accountable before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have the greater level of authority, they have a greater level of power, and so they have greater responsibility. But again, I want to turn it back to you as an individual, me and you. We might not have power and authority, but before we hold them to accountable, hold yourself to accountable. And I want you to think about this. We say, why don't they talk about Palestine? We say, why don't they come and help Pakistan now and all the Muslims unite? We talk about this as if it's something that is easy. But I want to ask you on an individual level, yes, that is the correct thing to do. But on an individual level, ask yourself, if you today start talking about Palestine and the oppression of the Muslims in your workplace, for example, or you have a business and you promote this, or you have a platform and you talk about this, and then you get the first strike, do you start to shiver? Or the police come knocking on your door and say, well, we think that you're up to something. How do you respond? How do you respond? Ask yourself, if you're put in that position, how would you respond? Would you become fearful over that which you own now? Become fearful of what's going to happen to you? Oh, you know what, I'm going to be careful now what I say. I'm going to be careful about what I talk about now. That's what's going to happen. That's the reality. Yet at the same time, we have no problem blaming everybody else because that's the easier thing to do. It's easier to hold other people to accountable rather than hold yourself to account.